No, I didn't say that. I said that my friend is wearing a T-shirt. No, let me clarify. My friend is Mike Rhodes, is wearing a T-shirt that has
OT3.
That is OT3, which I know you're familiar with. So don't even try to dance around the subject. In fact, actually, if you're not at OT3 and you find out this information, the theory is that you will catch pneumonia and die. Isn't that correct?
Exactly. What an asshole.
This is terrible. Why did you call in if you can't even defend the tenets of your religion? I mean,
so Jamie, how's the weather out there in California?
Californication. I mean, I don't understand, sir. I mean,
Tom, talk to me about Xenu.
That's on the internet. Are you denying that Xenu is so? You just admitted that it is copyrighted material, Xenu and so on.
Oh, what? Now we're gonna sue you, Jamie.
Here's the personal attack. Here's the personal attack.
What an asshole!
It's a goddamn T-shirt in L. Ron Hubbard's own writing, and Xenu. You know full well about Xenu.
Mike,
Scientology
coming in to arrest you for wearing a T-shirt.
There's a lot of
OT3 gimmick on it.
A lot of Scientologists are embarrassed as to hell of Xenu because they know how it sounds, and you got to know how it sounds, and that's obviously why you can't answer the damn question.
Because you know it sounds like a bunch of jackass contrived crap.
I mean, okay, agree with me this. Let's step away from Xenu for a second. Agree with me this, that the use of an e-meter and so on is to clear the body of body thetans, correct?
Oh, okay. He's still on the T-shirt.
The Xenu? You think I would make something like that up? I don't write fiction. I have no need to.
Somebody gave me the shirt, sir.
Yeah.
All he cares about is this T-shirt that's got the OT3 whatever on it, and you know what? Rather than answer the question, James,
this is the
he keeps going to this T-shirt. Exactly.
This is the
this guy owns a company in our society.
This is the public defense.
That's supposed to place your advertising in a strategic type fashion. And he's a jackass.
I would think that after 30 years that you would have a better explanation. I mean, do you agree with me about body thetans in the e-meter? Correct.
I know. That's what you always say.
Hold on, Tom.
I stole it all. In fact,
let me get to the bottom.
I have L. Ron Hubbard's ashes in my
let's urinate on him. Jamie, let's get to the bottom line of this. We've asked Tom right now, who's supposedly an OT8 and owns an advertising agency here in town. We've asked him no less than 10 times to explain his level of OT8ness and Xenu. And you talked about how your friend Mike right now is in the studio and has a T-shirt
of a photocopied document. Which you know full well is available on the internet.
Now hold on. Now let me just give play-by-play here. Everybody has a chance to respond to it. Rather than Tom to answer your question that you've asked no less than 10 times, answer my question no less. He keeps referring to the fact that little Mike here has a T-shirt that's got OT3 inscribings on it, and all he wants to care about is, because he's trying to skirt the original question that we've asked 10 times.
Copyright crimes.
And so the typical Scientology type fashion is, let's skirt the big questions that may make us look like jackasses, but let's just threaten to sue and arrest anybody who infiltrates our little world and happens to have a document they're not supposed to have.
Can you imagine a Christian trying to sue you because you had the words of the Bible written on your shirt?
Exactly.
Copyrighted.
If I had Corinthians 1:13 on my shirt, and love does not envy, love all that kind of stuff, and do you think my pastor John Lloyd would come and say, so, did you get that over the internet as a copywriting? So you're basically saying that you got Corinthians 1:13.
Is it that you can publicly address the issue? Are you not allowed to, or what? Of course not, right? I'm out of the wilderness. Yeah, go ahead. It's private scriptures. To the paying public. Only once.
Tell me about Xenu, jackass. Tell me about Xenu right now. I can get any pastor from any religion on this radio right now and ask them about any inscription in the Bible, and they will not divert it.
And they will give you explanation for it. I don't understand why you won't even answer the question.
They want your money. This guy's a sad example of a Scientologist.
I'm so unimpressed.
You're a real jackass, Tom Wright. You are. In my personal opinion, Tom Wright, I can't see how you can do business in this town, to be honest with you.
I'm sure you do.
Well, I'm sure you will. Are you threatening to sue me?
You're not even standing up. You haven't even given a defense. It doesn't make any sense. You're essentially, you're doing what every Scientologist does every time, and which is essentially they get proposed a question and instantaneously, another one of L. Ron Hubbard's scriptures is, always attack, never defend. You're familiar with that scripture, are you not? Yeah.
How about the one about? Tell me about the L. Ron Hubbard mentality of suing people.
Oh yeah, the purpose of a lawsuit is to harass and destroy.
Utterly, yeah.
It's not to win. Is that correct? I have.
Is that what color book it's from? It's from the Green Book. Okay.
Is that true?
And so is Xenu.
And Xenu's public, so talk about it, Tom, right?
Is the reason you can't discuss Xenu because it's you can only talk about it once you... you're afraid that any Scientologist listening hasn't reached OT3 is going to catch pneumonia and die?
No, there's a philosophy that says if you don't reach OT3...
Right. If you're not at the physical level, if you're not at the level, you can help me along with this. I don't want to be giving out erroneous information that, if you find out about Xenu before OT3, then you'll catch pneumonia and die.
True or false, Tom? True or false?
Xenu, because it's goddamn embarrassing.
Tom, can I ask you a question? Tom, can I clarify something? Tom, can I clarify something? That you picked up the phone and called me, and I certainly did not call you? Okay.
No. Why? Essentially, he was asking you, why is it, do you think that Scientology appears so shady? And you're just doing it again. The fact that nearly none of the actual religious... there's constant confusion amongst people that I meet about what Scientology is actually about, because you guys have such a labyrinth of, increasing mystery as you go up the OT levels. Now that you're at OT8, is the whole world open to you now, that now that you've seen all the great secrets and so on? Because a lot of people at your level actually leave because they see it all for the sham that it really is.
It's a pyramid. In my personal period. In my personal
I met
opinion,
a bunch of them myself.
Jamie, I want to ask Mr. Wright this question. In my personal opinion, like you said, it's a glorified Amway pyramid scheme for financial gain to those who can stick it out longest.
How much money do you think you sunk into it? As an OT8, how much money do you think you would have put into it?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You said?
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, and so, you don't tie...
How much money have you put into the program?
It's probably hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm sure they're happy you make a good living.
Do you think, Tom, that you may lose business from this radio show?
You wouldn't be an OT8 if you didn't make a good living.
What's that? Oh, exactly.
So
hold on. But Tom, let's just get something straight. You're not standing up to me because you haven't answered one of my questions.
This is pathetic.
If you would stand up to me and say, "Well, Bubba, let me tell you about Xenu. Let me tell you about Xenu."
You haven't answered a goddamn thing.
Jamie, if you were a pastor,
this is embarrassing. I was hoping at least that you guys are going to call up and try to use some blackmail crap on me, or
this is actually the second time this guy has called.
To character
Jamie, if you were a head of a Christian church, the pastor, and I said, "Tell me about Jesus Christ."
Right.
Don't you think you'd be able to reel off all kinds of stuff?
Even if you ask them about some of the more outstanding any of the aspects
Peter,
of the church.
Mark,
but
Paul.
This is how they succeed. As an OT8, any Scientologist that may be listening, you can't discuss a lot of these things like Xenu and so on. Isn't that right?
You can't even discuss them with your own family.
That's right.
Buy it so you can put some more money into the church.
You cannot buy them in any public bookstore. You have to take the classes and you know it. Otherwise, documentation on Xenu would be public.
Tom, you're such a jackass in my personal opinion.
I was just wondering,
let me ask you a question. Is Xenu like their god?
No. Xenu is not their god.
What is Xenu?
Xenu is one of the reasons why I love bringing up Xenu, because the whole point of you agree with me on thetans, correct? You certainly have the... Now, what is a thetan? Can you explain to them what a thetan is?
What's a thetan? What's a thetan?
Yeah, but you have more... I
don't want to be one. Can somebody de-thetan me real fast? I don't want to be one. I don't want to be the same thing this asshole is.
But do you agree with me? I don't want to portray you erroneously. You agree with me that you have thousands, sometimes thousands of body thetans in your body, correct? All right. He's not going to answer.
You want to
this.
fight? I'd like to fight you.
This is totally a.
You want to fight me, Tom?
It's like talking to a drone.
Tom, will you fight me?
Xenu is an evil galactic warlord that banished. He was part of the Galactic Federation. You can read it all right here on this T-shirt. And he banished the overpopulated alien species to Earth, also known as Tigiak. Which is the other form of Earth. And he put them in volcanoes, blew them up with hydrogen bombs. These Thetans, you can help me out here if you want to add anything to this.
Is so far what he's saying correct?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah.
That's what your whole religion is based upon. Being put in a volcano by some guy named Xenu.
That is your defense against
don't nuzzle me up, Xenu.
Your defense of your great leader is you tell me that his teaching sounds like science fiction when you are the following practitioner of a pathologically lying science fiction author, and not even a good one at that, from the 40s and so on. How are you going to say that what I'm saying is science fiction when essentially... I have read more than plenty. I mean, the thing is, I don't need to piss away 30 years of my life and thousands of dollars to completely lose my mind in the madness. I know the guy was full of BS, and I don't feel the need to read every goddamn one of those words of the scriptures, which are actually hidden in
underground nuclear
bomb shelter.
25 million words.
That's right.
Las Vegas.
Tommy,
for the future generations, because you guys are definitely going to be around forever.
Tell me about Xenu. Tell me about Xenu.
Your numbers are dwindling, and more people are leaving, and you guys may have money, but at the same time, by even you, if this is the best you guys got. I mean, essentially, I think it's kind of sad that I'm not even getting a good dirt PR or anything like that. That if this is the best you can do, then yeah, you guys ain't going to be around for very long.
Tell me about Xenu, Tommy. In closing, I got to wrap this up. Tell me about Xenu, Tommy.
How can you propagate a religion if you can't even discuss any of its beliefs on air?
That'd be like me saying, "Hey, tell me about Moses."
I'm sorry. We'll need to talk about that later.
Tell me about Virgin Mary.
That's exactly what I'm here to tell the listeners.
Exactly. And don't worship a guy named Xenu who put your mama in a volcano and blew her up with a big hydrogen bomb. Gimmick. And when you're going to place your advertising from some dude, ask him if he believes in Xenu or not. If he says yeah, don't walk, run from that office building.
And sir, if you'd like to actually meet me in person, I'm going to be out on the streets of Clearwater filming a little today.
Tom, let me ask you a question. You're 50 years old, right? You sound like you're pretty, maybe a scrapping young man. Would you fight me? Will you fight me? Will you wrestle me or fight me or box me in a tough man competition?
Have a cockfight.
Loser goes to the other side. We call it the dark side match. If I beat your ass, you come to Countryside Christian with me, and if you beat my ass, I go to church in Scientology and give every damn dime I ever made. Yeah, exactly. listen to Mr. Turnaround King. He's going to reverse the heat on me now.
This is embarrassing. This is terrible.
Hey, Tom, I'll tell you what. You go to my church, and then I'll go to your church.
Tom, I really have to say that, from the great-grandson of L. Ron Hubbard, that you're a goddamn disappointment as a public spokesman for the church. Well,
You're still a jackass, though.
I'm sure they'll be very proud of your subterfuge and your evasiveness. I'm sure that you'll get,
What made you call? How often do you listen to the program?
And did the Scientologists know that we're doing a big gimmick on the air today? Exactly, me too. God, for all you high-level OT8s that want to escape now.
OT8s, how many OT8s would you estimate there are in the world there, Tom?
How about in the area? Yeah. No, I'm talking about just Clearwater. Tom, I have nothing else to say to you. Go masturbate to this picture of Xenu. What does Xenu look like, supposedly?
They don't have any pictures of Xenu.
Wait a second. I'm a Christian, and I believe in God and Jesus, and they got pictures of Jesus. Why don't they have pictures of Xenu? Xenu would be all like Arnold Schwarzenegger up with big-ass muscles and stuff like that.
If you want to think for yourself, go look up, go look up Jesse Prince, go look up Jerry Armstrong, go look at these people who are. What'd you say? Right.
You're a jackass.
You still there, sir?
You know what? I'll tell you one thing, okay? You ready for this, Tom? I'm going to do some commercial stop sets. I'll come back in 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and I'll do a complete, unbiased opinion poll. Do you think Tom Wright and his believings are jackass at best, or do you believe what this guy's saying and we should give him the benefit of the doubt?
He hasn't said anything.
Hey, why don't you give your since you're a business, why don't you give your number out on the radio for people to call you up today and discuss this? Exactly, just like your religion, a bunch of dicks. Have a great day, dickhead. Jay, I don't think we could have ended any better than that.
That was
That's about the best it gets right there.
Actually, here I am
Let's
next.
just, you know what? It's sandbox cult. Make the rules as you go. I'm not going to talk about anything that could possibly entrap my gimmick.
Right.
And the only thing I'm really concerned about today is the fact that your friend has a T-shirt on that may be copyright infringement.
Always attack, never defend. Which you notice that was the only thing he did agree with me on, which is very strange. He agreed with me on the fair game policy, which is that the belief that any of your enemies can be lied to, tricked, cheated, and destroyed. He acknowledged that, and then he also acknowledged the lawsuit happy, and he also acknowledged, that's the only thing that they'll acknowledge, but he wouldn't speak on any of their beliefs. That doesn't even make sense.
Not even Xenu, the highest of all high.
He's not the highest of all. He's just another interesting part of the mythology of the church.
Space opera is
Yes.
what Hubbard called it.
8:39, I got to get going. Jamie, man, thank you very much. This is
Thank
great,
you.
man. This
Thank
is
you very
awesome.
much.
I'm glad we got it on tape, too. I'll be back in a minute. Stand by.
God, that was pathetic.
Oh, it was.
I'm really so unimpressed that they didn't have any more balls than that, you know? That he went to the what?
The fight?
Yeah, I mean, because I really wanted to actually, there's a couple times where I was like, hey, let's actually, I was more, I mean, that's why I've been wanting to speak to some of them. I'm actually really curious and interested as to what their views are on it. That I know about Xenu, I know you know about Xenu, so let's just talk about it. It's like, or talk, I mean, he wouldn't even cop the thing.
Completely evade.
Yeah, completely.
That's always the case.
Danced away from every possible...
And every chance I get, it's back to, what are your crimes? Oh, you're a felon because you've got the T-shirt.
That was funny.
With copyrighted material. Well,
Hell is that?
they're felons too.
No,
because they
and
took
by
our
doing that,
copyrighted material.
he even acknowledged the fact that it was material.